Okay, this video is all about combinations of functions, so whether that is adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, compositions. It's stuff you've seen last year. I just want to do a quick refresh of it and kind of how we would utilize it in this class. Remember to pause as needed as you are taking your notes, but there are guided notes in your packet that go along with this. So for this first example, which I did type out for you, we're looking at some audio tapes. So they include information about the park and are available for purchase by visitors to the Yellowstone National Park in Wyoming. The revenue from the sale of X number of tapes is represented by this equation R of X. Suppose that the function for the cost of manufacturing X number of tapes is represented by this function C of X. I want to know what function would you use to find the profit on X tapes. You're supposed to be thinking in your head, or maybe trying on your paper. But my profit, which I'm going to call P of X, should be if I took my revenue, so all the money that came in, minus what it's costing me. Now, when you are doing that, you can go ahead and plug in this 9.5 X and the minus 0.08 X plus 1940. Make sure you distribute that minus sign though. So you really have 9.5. I didn't give myself a whole lot of space. I'm going down to the bottom. 9.5x minus 0.8x minus 1940. And then when I do 9.5 minus 0.8, I get 8.7x minus 1940. So I'm basically earning $8.7 or whatever it is for each tape after that initial $1,940 that I make. So when you are doing operations, again, I know this part should not be new. Just I want to give you some reminders on your notation. Whether you put f plus g of x or f of x minus g of x, those mean the same thing. Same with subtracting, multiplying, dividing. Do make sure with division you never have that denominator equal to 0. But I'll have problems written in both formats, but they mean the exact same thing. So for this example, which is on your page, number 1, given f of x is 3x squared minus 4 and g of x is 4x plus 5, I want the sum, difference, product, and quotient. So I would say go ahead and pause this and try to do this, and then unpause and you can kind of check with what I have. So for my sum, when I added them, I'm going to have 3x squared minus 4 added to 4x plus 5. Simplifying that, I get 3x squared plus 4x plus 1. For my difference, so when I do f minus g of x, it's going to be essentially the same thing, except for instead of a plus sign between the two functions, I have a minus sign, which means I do need to distribute that minus sign to everything that comes in the parentheses after it. As a check, you should have had 3x squared minus 4x minus 9. Next is my product, so f times g of x. So you're taking your 3x squared minus 4, you're multiplying it by your 4x plus 5. You are foiling or distributing, like double distributing, whatever you want to call it. So far I have 12x cubed plus 15x squared minus 16x and then minus 20. And finally for my division, so I'm doing f of x divided by g of x. So I'm going to take my 3x squared minus 4 and divide it by 4x plus 5. I can't really simplify any of that. Like, there's nothing that's going to cancel. That is my quotient. For your domain, the only one that I'm going to have something I need to check for is this last one. Make sure that denominator is not equal to 0. So x is anything but negative 5/4. So that would be like negative infinity to negative 5/4 and the negative 5/4 to infinity. I will put the domain for each of these on the key when I post it on Google Classroom. I just don't have room on the slide. So check that. Go ahead and look at this next one and see if you can set up your sum, difference, product, and quotient. Don't make these harder than they have to be. So on my sum and my difference, I cannot like simplify or combine those two radicals, so I just have to keep them separate. On the product, though, you can multiply inside those radicals, so I'm going to go ahead and FOIL all of these, but I'll keep it inside my radical. All I would do from there is maybe write it in a more proper order. So negative x cubed minus x squared plus 9x plus 9. Now, for the last one, for your quotient, it's kind of going to be just as simple as the one before. You're putting the top function over the bottom function. Now, you're not supposed to leave a radical in your denominator. However, with this entire function being like a radical, it's okay. If anything, you could just make it one giant radical. So the square root of x minus 1 over 9 minus x squared. Like, that's fine. Now, for each of these, you're going to have to check your square root rule and your fraction rule in the bottom one for your domain. Again, I'll have the domain listed on my answer key that I put on Google Classroom on that link, but go ahead and try to do that here as well. Okay, the last one, which should not be new either, is your function composition. So it's basically when you do one function and then take that answer and plug it into the first one. We basically take one function and plug it into another function. It can be written with this open circle or with your parentheses. They are both read as f of g. The order does matter, so f of g is not the same as g of f of x. For this first example, I want you to find f of g of x, given that I have that f of x is x squared minus 1 and g of x is 3x. So I'll kind of walk you through this one and let you try the next couple. So on the first one, f of g of x, if it helps, rewrite it with the parentheses, and you'll notice that your g of x is going inside your f function. So my f function is something squared minus 1. My g function was 3x, so I'm just plugging that into that. I would then simplify that and get 9x squared minus 1. For your g of f of x, the second one, so again, the parentheses helps a whole lot as far as knowing what goes inside it, but the second function is going inside the first function. So my first function is 3 times something. What I'm plugging inside of that is that x squared minus 1. So I have 3x squared minus 3. Note that I did not get the same thing for each of those, so those are not the same. Here's two more functions for f and g. First one, you're plugging in a number, so you can set up your function for f of g of -4, or you can just do g of -4, which would be 16, and then do f of 16, which would be 3 times 16 is 48, so 46. On g of f of -4, so I'd start with f of -4, So 3 times negative 4 is negative 12, minus 2 is negative 14. And then when I do g of negative 14, I'm going to get negative 14 squared, which is just 196. On the bottom two, you are writing out your function with the x still. As you are continuing through these couple of problems, check your answers with the key if I don't show them up here, but make sure you are showing all of your answers for them. On these two, it's just harder equations today, what we've seen, but you're still just doing f of g. So f says the square root of something minus 1. Plugging the g in, I have an x squared there. So I have the square root of x squared minus 1. That does not simplify. If I do g of f, I have something squared as my g function. On the inside of that is my x minus 1, or sorry, my square root of x minus 1. That does simplify, and I just have x minus 1. Take a second on this last one and read through this problem and try it, and then come back and I will kind of go over it. I have my two equations on there now. My rebate would be x minus 5. My price after my discount would be 0.75x because it's 25% off. For B and C, find those equations and then compare them. You can see my two functions going along the left side. So R of P of X would be if I do my discount first and then take the rebate, so I do 25% off and then take off $5. P of R of X would be if you do your rebate first, so take off your $5 and then do 75% of that. Comparing the two, I would say that I'd rather do the first one because that's the 0.75x minus 5 compared to 0.75x minus 3.75. So I'm actually getting a better discount by taking my discount first, my 25% off first, and then taking my rebate.